Hi everyone, I am Abhi, psychology student. In today's video, we're gonna go deep into one of the most fascinating area of psychology, that is how your brain works, how you become you, and why neurodiversity is something to celebrate and not to fix. Also, we'll talk about nature versus nurture in psychology and brain parts, neurons, and different types of neurodivergent conditions like ADHD, autism, etc. So, whether you are a fellow psych student or you're just curious about how brain works, let's dive in. So, are you the way you are because of your genes or because of how you are raised? Well, that's a classic question. That's a classic debate between nature versus nurture in psychology. So basically, nature refers to your genes, your DNA, or your biological inheritance like your eye color, your hair type, or even mental health disorders. If your family does have something, you can also get that from genes. Nurture is about environment, which is your family, your friends, education, and which is everything which is like environmentally which affects you or which molds you. So actually I've seen like most modern psychologists will say it's not this or that, it's actually both. Like you can take an example of baking. Genes are your ingredients and the nurture, which is like environment, is something like you mix and bake. Next up, the amazing brain. So your brain consists of three parts. So the three main parts are forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. So forebrain has three parts, which is cerebrum, thalamus, and limbic system. So what is cerebrum? It is the largest part of your brain and it's responsible for you to think, which is logic, thought, emotions, and everything which involves thinking. So thalamus, it's like a brain's receptionist. It directs the incoming signal to the right department. Limbic system includes this, and this. This is responsible for fear and emotion. This is important for your memory, and this is important for your hormonal control. Now midbrain, a relay center which is responsible for eye movements, body movements, and overall is responsible for hearing and vision. Okay, now hindbrain has three parts too: cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata, did you hear that? Like, have you ever heard it? And nadulla konja pakkata kaanum. I just got that thought of that movie when I was reading about this topic. Cerebellum coordinates movement and balance. Pons helps with sleeping, breathing, and facial expressions. And this medulla oblongata, this controls the life support functions like breathing and heartbeat. Okay, now let's go for neurons and how they work. So your brain is actually powered by neurons, and each neuron will carry some message. Okay, it carries the signals or messages to each part of the body. Okay, let's go one by one. Okay, first one is dendrites, which is a listener. Cell body, the thinker. Axon, the messenger. And synapse, the space where neurons, using neurotransmitter, it connects like serotonin and dopamine. So when you feel something or when you learn something or when you just move your finger, it's neurons work. Neuron is doing their work. So there are four: dendrites, cell body, axon, and synapse. Now the part 4 is neurodiversity, which is term neurodiversity means everyone's brain works in a different way and it is valid. So there is three terms: neurotypical, neurodivergent, and neurodiverse group. Neurotypical means those people's brain works in a certain way that is expected by the society, which is very normal. And this neurodivergent means people whose brain will function in a different way that is not expected by the society, like ADHD, autism, dyslexia. So they will have a difficulty, but then their minds will function differently, but they will have certain strengths in them. A neurodiverse group is like both neurodivergent and neurotypical people will stay in one place. That is like, I could say this as educational institution, both neurodivergent and neurotypical will live in one society, whether it's accepted or not. Like, they'll live in one society that is called as neurodiverse group. Now, part 5, neurodivergent conditions, we'll see. Now let's look at some examples of neurodivergent and some inspiring people who have faced it. So first foremost, it is ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Symptoms will see like they'll have inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Okay, but they have a superpower, that is creativity, hyper focus, and quick thinking. These are their superpowers. And famous people who have had this is this and this. Now let's go for next one, which is ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder. Okay, their symptoms are social communication difficulties, repetitive behavior, and sensory sensitivities. So their superpowers are honesty, first of all honesty, and pattern recognition, and they have one more superpower, that is deep focus. And the famous people who have had this is this and this. So the third is dyslexia, which is they have difficulties in words and communication. Symptoms, they'll have difficulties in reading and writing, but their strengths are storytelling, visual thinking, and problem solving. You'd be amazed, but the famous people who have had this is Albert Einstein have had this. So the famous people who have had this is this, and this. Fourth one is dyscalculia, which is they'll have difficulties in numbers. So their symptoms is they'll actually struggle with maths and calculation, and with number, time, everything which is numerical, they'll have difficulties in that. But you know what? They're often misunderstood, but they'll have very strong verbal and artistic talent. So famous people who have had this is this. Now the fifth one is Tourette syndrome. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the word correctly or not. This involves involuntary movement and sounds. They're called as tics. So famous people who have had this is this and this. But this is actually, these both people I have not thought about it, but then yeah, they have had. Every one of their brain is valid, capable, and powerful. So what did you learn today? Everybody's brain is capable and valid. Whether it's shaped by nurture or nature, both will help you think, grow, and learn. So your brain is very important. It's designed to help you think, grow, and connect. So if you are neurodivergent or you know someone who is neurodivergent, remember, being different means not being broken. It means you're brilliant. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and drop a comment telling me your favorite brain fact or your neurodivergent superpower.